Hey, how's it going? Just wanted to show you what I'm doing with this coal car. So, about 2 years ago, for some stupid reason, I was outside my mind. I added some graffiti to this car, and back in my time frame for my layout, which is between 1991 and 1993, you would very, very rarely, if ever, see a coal car with graffiti on it back then. Not sure why, but it is what it is. But this car had graffiti that I had added onto it 2 years ago, and getting it off was a real challenge. So I ended up getting as much off as I could, and then used some Testors flat black model paint to paint over the remainder. The other thing is that I also lost the last number of my my number here. So my, I don't know what they call that. Anyway, the hopper designation for this one, identifier. And so I had to replace it with another number. In this case, 04. So I added that decal. I added the new decals on the ends with the new number. I also had to add in the CSX over here because those were like totally covered by the graffiti. So now it looks good. But now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and add on my weathering. So I have here some weathering powder, dark rust, and I also have some medium earth as well. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to add in the earth. I just want to add in just a little bit right down here along the base, because these cars do pick up a little bit of dirt along the way. So I want to go ahead and do that. So I've got two soft brushes here. I'm going to move my microset out of the way because I don't need that anymore. And so I'm going to open up the medium earth here. And so I got this on a paper towel. I'm going to use my smaller of the two brushes and I'm just going to dip it into the medium earth and get the brush have it covered in this weathering powder, just like that. And then I'm just going to very, very gently just dab the bottom edge of the car like this and give it a little tap and just knock off the excess so that I have some of that right there. And I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing, just doing a very little tiny bit and just a little bit along the bottom here. Yep, just like that. Little tap. And so there we go. So now you've got that little bit of dirt and grime on the bottom there. I'm going to do the same for the ends here as well, just a little bit on the side. And I like to keep the car at an angle so that the excess kind of drips off, and I can just tap off any additional excess there might be, so extra stuff. Yeah, just kind of tap it in, just very, very little bit. I don't want to go overboard with that. All right, and then what I'm going to do is put the cap back on that. Be careful with this stuff. If you spill this stuff, it's going to be a hot mess to clean up because it sticks. That's why it's a self-adhering pigment, so it's you want to be careful with that. All right, now I'm going to add in my my dark rust. So I've got the dark rust here, and this one I'm going to go a little bit more than normal. And so what I do is I angle the car like this, about a 45-degree angle. So, because I want the pigment to run down the sides. And now, not all of it is going to adhere, and that's okay. So most of the stuff I'm just gonna go along the thing like this, and then I'm gonna push the stuff in further down, just like that. So and give it a little tap, and then so now it's got that rustiness, and you might want to add a little bit more, just a little bit more up here on the top. just gently, and just kind of, I'm just kind of pushing it in with the brush, so it's adhering as much of the pigment as possible, and then tap it. So there we go. I'm gonna rotate it, and I'm gonna do the same thing on this side with the dark rust here. Just kind of let it run down the sides. Okay. And then I'm gonna push it in. And then knock off the excess. So there we go. So now it's looking more weathered and than it was before. So that's that. Now, I'm thinking that maybe I need to add a little bit of the lighter rust. So I'm gonna go over here to my drawer and pull out the light rust. Okay. So I got the light rust here. And so what I'm gonna do is, same brush, because I knocked off a lot of excess there. And I'm gonna do the same kind of thing, but this case, I'm gonna be very discriminating as to where I'm gonna put that at, because the light rust, I just want it to be here and there. I don't want it to dominate the car. Same thing here. Just a few spots, you know? And just kind of push those in, knock off the excess, and then you get the car with the little bit of rust on there. So now it looks a lot better. I think it looks a little bit more rusty. I'm gonna go ahead and do this on the other side with the light rust. I didn't put any of the dark rust on this side, but that's okay. I'm just gonna knock that off. And then over here, same thing. Just dab it on, knock off the excess, and I think that's gonna be good. So hopefully you guys can see that. I know it's a little dark, but yeah. And so now you got the light rust here and there with the dark rust behind it, and I'd say this car is ready to roll. So that's it. Put the cap back on. I have learned that lesson. I actually did spill a little bit of this weathering powder, and what it does is it sticks. So even if you're going to be there for a little bit cleaning it up, because it just sticks to everything. So there you go. That is a little tutorial on how I weather my cars. I'm going to put the wheels back on this guy and put the coal load back in it and get it back onto the layout. And there you go. Thanks for watching.